Let's get one thing straight before we begin. A man falls in love long before he ever says a word, and most older women never notice it happening. It's not because he texts more or compliments you more, but because his attention shifts, almost like his mind becomes a high-definition emotional camera capturing every tone, pause, and breath you make. With younger men, this shift is even stronger. It's not because he's analyzing you, but because he's trying to understand how safe, inspired, and emotionally alive he feels around you. And every question he asks tells him something about the connection forming between you. Today, we're uncovering the 5 questions a man asks when he's truly falling in love with an older woman. If this speaks to you, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Now let's dive into the first question. Question 1. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? The moment someone asks about your future, they are quietly revealing their hopes for their own. There is something quietly disarming about this question. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? At first glance, it sounds simple, almost casual. Yet if you listen closely, you will notice a gentle shift beneath the words, as if a small door inside him is opening toward you. This is a future-oriented question, slow in rhythm and steady in tone. And in psychology, it belongs to what we call anticipatory bonding, the emotional attachment that begins when someone imagines a future that includes you. Men do not enter this space unless their hearts have already begun to lean in your direction. You notice it most when you compare. Many men keep conversations rooted in the present, where to eat, what to watch, what to do this weekend. But a man who is slowly falling for you extends the timeline. He wants to see what shapes you, what you are reaching for, and whether his own life path could quietly adjust to meet yours. A 2019 study from the University of Kansas found that men who asked future-based questions early in dating were 43% more likely to seek long-term relationships. This is not random curiosity, it is emotional intention. In real life, many women dismiss this question as politeness, but if you have ever sat in a dimly lit cafe, warmth spreading from the cup in your hands, and heard a younger man ask where you imagine yourself a decade from now, you felt something different. The question stops being a question, it becomes an invitation, a gentle test to see whether 2 lives could move toward each other without either person shrinking their dreams. And perhaps the most beautiful part is this: he's not asking to judge you, but to discover if there is a shared horizon, a place where 2 futures might breathe in the same direction. Love grows in the quiet spaces where 2 futures begin to align. And once he steps into your future with this first question, the next ones reveal even deeper layers of his emotional intention. Question 2. What is the most important thing your last relationship taught you? And once a man steps quietly into your imagined future, the next question he asks often turns gently toward your past. What is the most important thing your last relationship taught you? On the surface, it sounds simple, almost polite, yet beneath it lies a request for something far more intimate. He's not seeking comparison, and he is not measuring you against someone who came before. He is reaching toward the emotional history that shaped you, the unseen architecture of your heart. In psychology, this moment reflects a search for emotional safety, because to love you in the present, he must understand the story that sculpted your tenderness, your caution, and your strength. There is a quiet bravery in the way he asks. He wants to know how you were hurt, not to reopen the wounds, but to understand the sensitivity they left behind. He wants to know what you learned, not to assess your wisdom, but to see the ways you rebuilt yourself. And he wants to know what you now expect from love, because a man who is serious is not intimidated by your standards. He wants to know if his own way of loving can meet the new promises you have made to your heart. As Dr. Ramani often explains, sharing past experiences is one of the clearest signs of real intimacy. It dissolves emotional distance and allows 2 people to stand in honest clarity together. In real life, this question can feel almost too revealing. You may find yourself sitting across from him, a soft light resting on your face, and suddenly the air grows still as you search for words. You feel the weight of your history rise to the surface, and he feels it too. Yet what he is truly asking is simple. Can he hold your truth without flinching? Can he love the woman shaped by life rather than the woman he imagines you should be? And if he listens with calm presence, without interruption, you will sense that he is not afraid of your story. He is studying the map of your heart so he can walk it with intention. If you have ever shared your past with someone and felt seen, tell me in the comments below. And stay close, because the next question touches a deeper and quieter part of your inner world. Question 3. What do you like to do when you are alone? And once a man begins to understand the echoes of your past, his curiosity often shifts toward the quiet spaces of your present. What do you like to do when you are alone? It seems like such a gentle question, almost too soft to carry any meaning, yet it reveals something essential. Men who are not serious focus on what you can do with them. They want to hear about the dates, the fun, the shared moments that make them feel special. But a man who is falling in love wants to know who you are when there is no audience, no performance, no expectation. He wants to meet the woman who exists in the stillness. In psychology, this is the doorway to authentic attachment. According to Psychology Today, the way two people honor each other's personal space is one of the strongest predictors of long-term compatibility. A man who asks about your solitary world is not looking for entertainment. He's looking for essence. He wants to know what restores you, what comforts you, what you reach for when there is nothing to prove. This question carries an unspoken invitation. Show him the version of you that does not need to impress, the version that sits in comfortable clothes on a quiet morning, reading a book or moving through the house in your natural rhythm. In real life, this question often appears in the softest moments. Maybe you are sitting together after a long day, conversation drifting without direction, and he suddenly asks what your Sundays look like when no one needs anything from you. You might laugh it off, thinking it is too mundane to matter, but he is listening closely. He is trying to understand the everyday truth of you, the version not filtered through romance or effort. And if his eyes soften as you speak, you will know he is falling for the woman you are when the world is not looking. And in that quiet recognition, he begins to wonder something deeper, something that will lead him to the next question. If he knows who you are alone, can he become someone who adds light rather than weight to your dreams? Stay with me, because what comes next uncovers the part of you he hopes to grow beside. Question 4. What is something you have always wanted to do but never had the chance to? And once a man begins to understand who you are in your quietest moments, his curiosity often reaches towards something even more tender, the unlived part of your life. What is something you have always wanted to do but never had the chance to? This question does not look backward or inward. It reaches forward into the space where your dreams still breathe. When a man asks this, he is not simply gathering information. He is stepping into the landscape of your unrealized desires, the parts of your story that have not yet unfolded. In psychology, this is known as future bonding, a form of intimacy created not by memories, but by shared possibility. A man who asks this question is no longer observing your life from the outside. He's imagining where he might stand within it. Research from eHarmony in 2018 showed that couples who share and pursue personal goals together report more than 50% greater relationship satisfaction. This is because shared aspirations create emotional momentum. They give two people something to walk towards side by side. When he asks about the dreams you have not lived yet, he is quietly asking if he can walk beside you as they come to life. In everyday moments, this question often arrives unexpectedly. Maybe you're talking about travel, or a hobby you abandoned years ago, or a country you once wished to see. He leans in a little, the conversation slows, and he asks what you have always wanted but never given yourself. It is in these moments that his intentions become unmistakably clear. He is not falling in love with your past or even with your present. He is falling in love with your future, with the version of you that still hopes for something more. He is imagining himself not as a spectator, but as a companion in your milestones, your adventures, your transformations. And when a man begins to picture himself inside your dreams, he will eventually ask something even braver about the meaning of love itself. If a question like this has ever touched you or surprised you, feel free to share it in the comments. And hold your attention gently here, because the next question reveals the deepest doorway into his heart. Question 5. How do you feel about love at this moment in your life? And once a man begins to imagine himself inside your unlived dreams, there is only one place left for his curiosity to go: the heart itself. How do you feel about love at this moment in your life? This is not a small question. It is not casual, and it is never asked lightly. A man only asks this when he has opened his own chest a little, when he has accepted the possibility that your answer may wound him. It is a question that reveals his readiness for risk, because to ask about your relationship with love is to ask whether your heart might one day be open to him. In psychology, this is considered a vulnerability inquiry, a moment in which two emotional worlds either meet or move apart. He's not simply wondering if you are romantic. He wants to know if you still trust love enough to step toward it again. He wants to know if your heart has space left, and if that space could include him. Most men avoid this question entirely unless they are serious, because it exposes their own longing. It reveals their hope. Esther Perel often says that the conversation about what love means at different stages of life creates the deepest form of intimacy, because it invites two people to speak from the place where their truth lives. In real life, this question often arrives in a moment of stillness. Maybe the night is quiet, the air softer than usual, and he looks at you with a kind of searching patience. When he asks how you feel about love now, he is not looking for an idealistic answer. He is searching for the weather inside your heart, the climate he must understand if he is to walk beside you. And whatever you say, he listens not with his mind, but with the part of himself that already cares too much. For a man to ask this question is to reveal that he is no longer standing at the edge of your life. He is already leaning in, hoping the doorway you open will be wide enough for two. There's a moment in every growing connection when the questions a man asks begin to show the shape of his heart. Through these 5 questions, you can feel his sincerity, his vulnerability, and the quiet way he is trying to step into your world. Love often reveals itself not through grand gestures, but through the desire to understand you, to see your past without fear and your future without hesitation. Perhaps the deeper truth is that we are seen most clearly when someone cares enough to ask who we are beyond the surface. And sometimes, love begins with nothing more than a single honest question. If this touched you, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if the message resonated, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more reflections on the psychology of love. Thank you for watching.